Thank you for joining us today. I am Pastor Kelly Milne from the Bridgewater New Jerusalem Church in Bridgewater, and this is my cohort, partner in crime, all sorts of things, Reverend Dr. Donna Keene from the Elmwood New Church in Elmwood, and this is Pastor's Corner.
Yeah.
If you have never joined us before, apparently this is episode 15, which
I find hard to believe.
It's hard to believe that we've been here this many times, but it's been wonderful. We talk about a number of subjects, everything. While we've done grief, we've done anxiety, we've talked about Jesus, we've talked, oh gosh, so many things.
Yeah.
But today, we have decided to talk about
Numbers.
As if that wasn't planned. No. So yeah, numbers in the Bible
Yes.
is something that we said, hey, this might be kind of fun to do, because we see numbers come up, the same numbers come up in the Bible all the time. And I know for my one example that does have multiple numbers in it, and I want you to keep this in mind, is the story of Noah. So as we're going through and talking about things, if you are familiar with the story of Noah and the flood and the ark and the animals, if you're not familiar,
Grab your Bible.
Pause the show, kind of review or read it through. You can start in Genesis chapter 7, 8, 9.
Somewhere in there.
Yep. No, I know chapter 9 is the ending, so it's got to have a couple chapters before that. So, so that would be great. So, we've got some numbers.
Yes, we do. I am absolutely, I have been fascinated by numerology for a long time, the meaning of numbers. Not just the numbers themselves. I am certainly not a mathematician. I would never understand any higher math, believe me. I barely got through algebra and geometry. But numbers in themselves have always fascinated me because they show up everywhere. No matter what we're thinking or doing, there's numbers involved.
Oh, yeah.
So I decided to go look back through the Bible and say, some of these numbers keep repeating over and over and over again.
Sure do.
So I started with the lowest of the numbers. It's not number 1, although that is very prevalent in the Bible. But the number 3 fascinates me. It exemplifies divine completion. It is the number of perfection. It means that it is absolutely an accomplished fact. And obviously the first place that we look at for the number 3 is in the Trinity.
Right.
And Jesus is the third center part of the 3 in the Trinity.
Right.
You know, it's Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Well, there's also a lot of 3s associated with Jesus. In other words, he rose on the 3rd day.
Right.
And there were 3 years of his ministry. In the Old Testament, there were 3 patriarchs. There was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And 3 divisions in the temple in Jerusalem. 3 parts of the inside of the temple.
Right.
It also means divine intervention. And spiritual significance is completeness and perfection and spiritual fulfillment. And God's completeness of creation is what we're going to talk about next. because that's the number 7.
Right, right. As I was going through preparing for today,
Yeah.
I kind of dove into our theology in our church, in our denomination. And, it talked about, how Joshua said in 3 days we're going to cross the Jordan and then inherit the land. Again, so many instances of the number 3. But what stuck out for me the most was in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 13. It describes how the Lord's life was divided into 3 stages. And so, again, Luke chapter 13 and verse 32, it talked about how he was casting out demons,
Yeah.
completing cures,
Yes.
and then on the 3rd day, it was all brought to an end. And what did he do? He cast out demons multiple times.
Yes.
He faced demons. He faced Satan. Completing cures. Well, how many parables do we have of healing and Jesus being that healer? And not only, physical healing, sure,
Yeah.
but all that spiritual healing as well. And then on that 3rd day, obviously we know it was brought to an end.
Yes.
So that just kind of, it hit me for some reason, and I'll probably read about 4 or 5 pages before something will peek out. But kind of ask yourself as you're watching, listening to us, what's that number 3? Do you see the number 3? Do you experience the number 3
In your own life.
in your own life?
Right.
So my birthday is 3/17, and I am constantly seeing on a clock 3/17, or a number plate 3/17. Numbers pop up if
Yeah.
you are aware
Right.
and open to receiving that information.
There's a really, I've always been interested in this part of Jesus' early life. When they take him to the temple at 12, and then they go home, and it takes them 3 days. On the 3rd day, they realize he's nowhere to be found.
He didn't follow us home.
3 whole days.
Because he had things to do.
Well, when they rush back to find him, he's in the temple, he's talking with all of these learned gentlemen, and the mother, I love this one, says, "How could you do this to us? You knew that we would be worried." I mean, typical mom.
Very.
And he says, "Didn't you know I would be in my Father's house?" That's the first time in the early story of Jesus that he acknowledges who he is.
Right.
He's beginning to understand who he is
Right.
on the 3rd day. Interesting little kid,
Right. Right. And I think it's important for us that as we look through these types of numbers, or, what am I looking for in the Bible today, or what do I need, that it's still relevant to us today.
Right. Oh, yeah.
We can still see this path today.
Yeah.
It's so great. 7?
Yes,
shall
the next
we?
number is 7. 7 exemplifies completeness, perfection, and spiritual fulfillment. Obviously, God stopped at number 7 when he created the universe. On the 7th day, he was done.
He rested.
And he rested. And that is the completeness. That's the fulfillment of his chore for that 7 days. And Noah, which we'll get to, also has 7 pairs of clean animals.
I love this.
And 7 in the Revelation story, there are 7 seals,
Yes.
7 trumpets, and there are so many different uses of the word 7 in both the Old Testament and the New Testament. And of course, we have 7 days. We have a Gregorian calendar, and it's 7 days.
Right.
There's no accident that our calendar has 7 days.
No, there isn't.
And that in the Christian faith, Sunday is the 7th day because you're supposed to rest on Sunday. And most people do rest on Sunday. They don't come to church. I had to get that in.
That's partly true. Yes, yes. We just need to change society around again,
Right.
and get it back.
I think
to,
we should have church on Monday.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, you talk about the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
True. I feel like, for some reason, that my week is always Sunday to Saturday. That my week starts on Sunday. So light dawns on Marblehead just as you're saying it, that the 7th day is the day of rest. So those of us who
work
on Sunday, yes. But I don't know, there's got to be something to those of us who think Sunday is the beginning and not the end. I need to think about this a whole lot more. But there's something there that's moving around in my head. But yeah, that's right. I mean, on the 7th day, he rested. That's it. It's done. It's completed.
And he saw that it was all good.
It was all good.
All good.
Now, going back to Noah a little bit and the number 7.
Yep.
So I always, when I do the story of Noah in Sunday school, or even it comes up in church or whatnot, you know, when I ask everybody, tell me about Noah's Ark, oh, 2 pairs of animals and all that. I'm like, well, sort of. The 2 is pairs of unclean animals. Right. And it has to do with how their hooves are formed. But also, in the story of Noah, if you go back and read, it talks about the 7th month, the 17th day is when the ark rested on Mount Ararat. Again, 7.
Yep.
Then we get to the doves.
Yep.
Sends out a dove, comes back, nothing. Noah waits, how long? 7 days.
7 days.
Sends the dove out, comes back, this time with an olive branch. Perfect. We know the water's going down. Great. What's he do again? He waits 7 more days, sends the dove out, doesn't come back.
Yep.
There's your 7 days, 3 times. Oh, 21.
Yes.
There's another number.
Yep.
It's just, I don't know, it's just really neat.
It is.
But we have so many more numbers to talk about. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Is that thing getting closer? Look how high that thing's going. Look out there. Look at the debris.
Give me the camera.
No, just drive. I've got it.
Zoom in, zoom in.
I can't believe this is happening.
Oh, what's the size of that thing?
It's everywhere.
Are you getting this?
Yeah, I've got it. What was that?
It's the National Guard.
How'd they get here so fast?
I don't know.
Pull over. Pull over.
Do you have what it takes to head into the heart of the storm? Check out NationalGuard.com.
Welcome back. If you missed the first section of the show here, we're talking about numbers today, numbers that we find in the Bible and their significance throughout the Bible and then even through today. So we've done 3 and 7.
Yeah.
Now we're at
10.
10.
Yeah.
You're
And-
on.
Yep. 10 is divine completeness and order and authority, which is it's not just divine completeness. Now there's authority
Look at that
associated
authority,
to
yeah.
it. And it means that God's plan is unfolding in perfect order. It is associated with the fullness of time, perfection. Obviously, the biggest obvious 10 is the 10 Commandments.
Right.
Okay. But we also had the 10 plagues in Egypt.
Yes, we did.
And we also have 10 generations from Adam to Noah. 10 generations.
It's a lot of generations.
And there were 10 lost tribes of Israel. And Jesus' parable of the 10 virgins, 10 permeates through the Old and New Testament.
It does. It does.
So it's nice to know that it's associated with completeness, but it's also associated with authority. 10 Commandments are our authority.
Our rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're laws. They're not rules. They are divine laws.
Yeah.
And he started with the number 1 and he finishes with 10. It's like he starts creation and he finishes with 7. This is his authority.
I can't argue with that. I mean, yeah. Noah. Let's go back to Noah. Keep this Noah theme
Yeah.
going. But they saw the mountaintops, meaning, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
The waters are receding.
Yep.
The 10th month.
Yes.
First day, but the 10th month.
Right.
There's your authority.
Yep.
It's done.
And
it's
that's the
over.
completeness of the Bible, of the flood. That is completed.
Right.
I am absolutely fascinated by the meaning of these numbers in the Bible and how it adds richness to the stories when we read them. Because you can just blast right past the numbers and not realize how informative they are of what's actually happening underneath that story that's going on in God's creation.
Right. Right. A
Yeah.
lot of times we, as we start out in our younger years and even, I would say even 20s or whatnot, as we read the Bible, we're thinking, oh, so this guy was building an ark in his backyard.
Yeah.
His neighbors thought he was crazy. And,
Yes.
putting all these animals. There's more to the literal side of the Bible.
Yeah.
There is much more. And we need to try and pay attention to that. That's
Yeah.
kind of the point of all this.
Some people call it the meta communication. It's the underneath communication that kind of goes in ebbs and flows under the stories. But if you can look at the numbers, you can find some of that.
Sure, for sure, yeah. That's a good place to start, yeah. So 3, 7, 10,
Yeah. Then we hit 12.
12. Great number.
Yes. Very important. Again, it's talking about completeness and divine order. And there are 12 tribes of Israel. There are 12 apostles.
Not by mistake.
There are 12 gates in the holy city, New Jerusalem, in Revelation. And the foundation of God's government and authority rests on 12. It is a perfect governmental authority. So, obviously, 12 gates into the holy city in Revelation, in heaven, means we don't all go through the same gate.
No. Now, if you think about it, it's also described that there are 3 in the north, 3 on the east, the south, and the west.
Right.
Oh, we've got a multiple of 3 going on now.
Yes, we do.
And that's another thing we need to watch out for.
Again, it's completeness.
It comes back to
Yep.
that lower number, that that meaning of being
Yeah.
fulfilled.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I like it. Anything else on 12?
Not that I remember. No.
I think yeah.
I was
That's
I was
what I
trying
had
to
on
figure
12.
out if there were any other 12s that jumped off the page at me in the New Testament, but I couldn't think of them.
And then the apostles. and
Well, they had to, by the way, when Judas Iscariot committed suicide, that left 11. They couldn't have 11. They had to have 12. And so they drew straws. And Matthias was the one with the straw and became the 12th apostle. But they could not tolerate having 11 because the number of 12 is the number of authority.
Right.
And that's what Jesus decided on. And that's what they were going to have, even if he wasn't there.
Right.
They knew they had to have 12.
It was important.
Yep.
It meant something
Yep.
to them. 12 months in our calendar.
We're back to the calendar, yeah.
It all goes back.
It does indeed. Yep.
Amazing. So then you've got the number 40.
Yeah, I was looking at that and saying to myself, what the heck does 40 have to do with the Bible?
There's a lot of 40s.
Well, it actually means a period of testing. It's a trial period, or it's purification that leads to a definite transition. Okay, 40 days in the wilderness
Yep.
with Jesus.
Yep.
40 years in the wilderness where the
Wandering.
Israelites kept kvetching and complaining.
They did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's for us it can be a period of preparation or it's a period of judgment. And it sometimes represents a whole generation. Because in the old days, 40 years of age
Yeah.
was ancient.
Right. It's not like now where we're living to 70, 80, 90
Right.
plus.
Right. So 40 days and nights of the Great Flood. You know, it's always something that means a little more within the story.
Right.
I mean, it's not an arbitrary number.
No, none of these are.
No.
No. Mm-mm. As I was doing some reading, and not necessarily, I was looking for specific numbers at this point, but there was a paragraph, and I can think of a few times in the Bible where it will say a great multitude, or, you know, you're thinking, that's a lot. You can't give me a number, but here we are with a multitude. It's literally too big. But we go back into that underlying, that spiritual
Yeah.
meaning. Who knows that number? Who knows every single character of the great multitude? It's not me. You know, that's God. That's knowing every single person's character. A great multitude. And in our theology, you know, that's how heaven is.
Right.
When we reach our eternal life, that's how it is. We're with the multitude who are like us
Yes.
from day one to
When we get there.
when we get there. You know, there's a verse in the Bible, my steps are numbered.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows all my steps? It's not me.
Yep.
That's just another
Yeah.
thing stuck out.
Right.
You know, about numbers. Numbers have a meaning. Numbers mean something.
I'm not that familiar with Presbyterian theology, but there's something that in the back of my mind about 144,000
Yes.
who have been saved already. That's 12 times 12.
Right.
That's completeness completed. Now, I don't know who makes up the 144,000, but I find it fascinating that they chose a number that's divisible by 12,
Right.
you know,
Which is then divisible by 3.
exactly. So we can't get away from numbers.
We can't get away from numbers.
No, and it's fun.
It's there's you can go so deep into this.
Yep.
And I really feel like we kind of knew there was so much.
Yeah.
We really have just scratched the surface.
Yeah. We chose a few numbers to do.
We chose a few numbers. I mean, and there's so much more. And, you know, as I said in the beginning, look at the story of Noah. You know, he's got the 7, he's got the 10, the 40. It's just,
I just don't know why he had to have cockroaches
I really don't
and
know.
spiders.
When we get there, we can ask.
We will ask.
But yeah, I think we've touched the surface and maybe piqued
Yeah.
some interest in
Well,
some of our listeners.
I would strongly recommend that people who are interested in numerology and the numbers and their meaning, they go back and look at some of the areas that we've discussed, especially
Sure.
Noah, but also the 10 Commandments and the 10 virgins and the 10 this and the 10 that,
Revelation with the gates and I
Right.
mean all of it.
and all of the 3s and all of the 12s. I mean, they are numerous. The pun was intended.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think on that note,
We should
this
probably
might be a
stop.
good time to end today. So thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And, well, show number 16,
But if they have questions,
please email.
we have the
email should be down
Yeah.
here somewhere.
Yeah. If they can help us with any more information, that would be great.
That would be fantastic. Or, you know, any ideas for show
Yeah.
bits. But again, thank you so much. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Yes.